Oh boy, I mean, I have to laugh. I really, truly have to laugh at you, Warner Brothers. I mean, AT&T, you guys got to step in on this. I mean, really. I mean, the hypocrisy of this. If you've clipped on this, you know what we're going to discuss here. Very soon, they're about to release the new Space Jam movie with LeBron James and the Looney Tunes on there. And there has been so far, there's been a lot of controversy on this film. Everything from Lola Bunny to Pepe Le Pew. We know, Lola Bunny, she's been downgraded, as we would say on there. I mean, it's kind of insane how they're doing a lot of these characters lately. These cartoons. There was nothing wrong with Lola Bunny in the original cartoon. There was nothing wrong with it. Yeah, she's supposed to be a little sexy, and that's the way it's supposed to be for Bugs. That's the gimmick of her character for that. And then you have like Pepe Le Pew, who's gotten a lot of criticism lately, and people don't really understand Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew was a joke. It was it is a gimmick also. And people don't, you got these little that they just don't like certain things. Well, don't watch it. Plain and simple, don't watch it. And me, myself, I'm not going to go watch Space Jam. I enjoyed the first one. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. You're not going to tell me LeBron James, is any better than Michael Jordan at it, because basically the story's better. The animation is 3D animation of Looney Tunes. And then you're ripping off two other films between Roger Rabbit and Ready Player One, because when you look at the trailer, you have a background image of who's who in the Warner Brothers catalog, including, if you look very carefully in the trailer at 2:23 in the trailer, and you look in the background very carefully, there are these blokes. And I say blokes. And if you're not familiar who these blokes are, back in 1971, there was a film, really well done film, based on a novel, directed by Stanley Kubrick, called A Clockwork Orange, based on Anthony Burgess's 1962 novel of the same name. And it deals with the psychiatric industry and the juvenile delinquency. It's you have a situation where you have this is like a dystopian future in this movie. You have gangs that are going around committing rapey and murder. It's insanity. It's very well done. Malcolm McDowell stars in it. Fantastically done the way this is done, especially his accent he throws into it. If you haven't seen it, do catch it. It is a classic Kubrick film. I mean, there's a lot to this movie itself. I mean, but to have it, I mean, you've banned Pepe Le Pew because you said he's a bit rapey, but yet you throw the guys, the Drogs, Alex and the Drogs, with their costumes, their cod pieces and everything like that. And is that a woman dressed as one of them? I mean, you can't get a clear shot of that, but I think there's a woman dressed like a Drog in the background. The only time they ever had a woman as a Drog was there was a adult film done that way. Maybe someone should have brought that one up and should have had a woman dressed like that. But still, I mean, there are other characters in here. On this screen, you see the White Walkers in there, zombies. There's like a whole mess of people in here. Some of them very violent, from different movies in the Warner Brother collection. And then you criticize that you had a cartoon character, and you had to get rid of it. But meanwhile, you put in other characters that are much more darker, rapier, as somebody said one time. It is it's funny when you see stuff like this. Also, Billy West is not even in this movie. Voice actor Billy West, who's done many different characters in the Warner Brother universe. I'd Be Mad on there, and he's not even in this movie. It's a shame. Same thing with the original voice of Lola, that she was replaced as well. And going into the Clockwork Orange end, there are a lot. There was one point that you could not see A Clockwork Orange in the UK until Stanley Kubrick's deck in '99. Yeah, that's right, folks. It was banned in the UK. Now, Stanley Kubrick himself was the one who put the ban in, because supposedly there were like copycats, which that's going to happen. You're going to have sick people in the world. And that's probably the premise of the movie, because there are sick people in the world. But the thing about it is what they do to those people who are sick and how they get treated as well. Because, not to give anything away, is what the character Alex goes through after being arrested for murder in this movie. It is really, really funny when you hear stories like that a movie of this nature is banned because of the immoral behaviors that were going on there, but people not talking about the immoral behaviors, nevertheless, because those have always been there. It's just now they've started to copy a little bit of it, if you can call it that way. But those behaviors have always been there. And they just don't want to do anything about that. But nevertheless, it's funny that you see this in supposedly a children's movie. Probably they'll edit it out because it hasn't been released yet. It's supposed to be released soon. But are you going to erase everything else in the backdrop on there? It's going to be a little hard to do that if you continue, how can we put this? Who thought of, said, hey, let's put the drugs in, let's put the White Walkers in here, let's put this one in here, let's put Dirty Harry over here. Not saying Dirty Harry, I don't know if Dirty Harry's in there, but, and the thing about it is, what does that portray as far as the Space Jam movie? You're ripping off at least two other films with all the characters around. You couldn't make something new and just go for the same thing over and over again. And the Space Jam 2 sat on a shelf for a while. Yeah, it did. It sat for a while. At one point, this was not going to come out. But I guess because of the lack of films right now, they decided, let's put it out. But, it's amazing how Warner Brothers acts one way and then just does a complete turnaround and makes a major big mistake. And we've seen this across the board with Warner Brothers. All the mistakes that they've made. The insulting of the Snyder Cut fans. When is AT&T gonna step in and finally put, their leash around Warner Brothers? It's their money. It's their money now in the company. You do all these stupid things that you're doing across the board, and then when you try to fix it, you make even bigger mistakes, and people are going to call you out on them. You release a trailer, have you not realized that we are in an internet age where people sit there and just scan through for the littlest things in trailers? You try to sneak in Easter eggs and stuff like that, and stuff they said, they'll never see it. They'll never notice that the drogues are in this. It goes by so quick, which it does go by quick, but you got people out there, they're going like, wait, what was that? And they go right on back and scan right through it. We used to do this when I was back in college. We had these things called the linear editors where we used shuttle control, and we used to just scan through stuff. I mean, one thing we used to go through, and it's like, oh my God, why are we doing it? Years ago, the Joe Theismann hit where he broke his leg, and we were scanning it back and forth, see where the crunch, you know, just actually where his leg just actually broke at that point. And how many times did we go back and forth on it, and half the people were like, no, stop doing that. Stop. So Warner Brothers, you need to get your shit together. Put Pepe Le Pew back in. Take out the drogues, you know, or if you want to keep the drogues in there, fine. But if you're gonna keep the drogues in, put Pepe back in. Because Pepe Le Pew is only a cartoon. And if those of you who've seen Clockwork Orange know the two scenes that I'm talking about, how horrid the murder scene and the rapey scene to Singing in the Rain is in this movie. I mean, like I said, the movie is a good movie. It is shocking on certain points, but it is a discussion of issues of the time. So you've reached this part of the video. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, share this video. Don't forget to catch Saturday Pre-Flight every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for talk on classic films, cartoons, anime, and a little touch of Svengoolie. So until next time, thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Cat. I was at a dance when she caught my eye, standing all alone, looking sad and shy. We began to dance, swaying to and fro.